One of the things that I do in my business is I know a lot of people say they have an open door policy and they're completely transparent. And anybody who has ever worked at a big corporation knows how difficult that is. And when I was at much larger corporations, especially when they were sales organizations, it just felt wrong to me that to have every person at every desk competing against everybody else at every desk. It was bad for morale, it was bad for careers, it was bad for business, it was bad for the clients. And so I made the decision that when I started my own business, I was going to create a structure so that everyone has a stake in everyone else's success. And everyone in the company benefit when someone is wildly successful. I have an example. My current business is in commercial real estate. We do property management. I was in my office with two people and we were trying to figure out a solution for a particular client. And at the same time, one of my employees was standing in the doorway and he had a plunger in his hand at the time. He was one of my junior engineers and he was waiting for a break in the conversation because clearly there was some plumbing thing going on that he needed to tell me about. But he was listening to the conversation. And when there was a break in the conversation, all of a sudden he said, you might want to think about having him buy those two properties and then lease them. First of all, it was absolutely the right solution. I was embarrassed that I'm this big real estate person. I didn't come up with that. But I was also very proud that if we had, first of all, if the door had not been open, and if we had not created an environment where he felt like he knew what was going on, he could come up with ideas and his ideas would be welcomed, we would have lost out on what was a really important solution for our clients. I'm getting examples every day of how being inclusive, how being transparent, and how really working towards the greater good all the time can create an environment where wonderful things can happen. It doesn't have to be me coming up with all the great ideas all the time. And he's a big cheese now. He worked for us for 8 years. He was just 19 when he came to us. And we encouraged him to go to community college. He was very interested in IT, and he's now the head of IT network and desktop support for one of the biggest wine and spirits companies in the area. And they fly around on a private jet to go to the different locations. And this was a guy that would unstick toilets for me when we first got together. So one of the things I talk about in this book is about bringing your whole self to your whole life.